Do you love your life or do you hate it? I know hate is a strong word, but let's look at it this way. Do you ever find yourself hitting the snooze button in the morning more than once because you just can't face the day? You just don't want to get up and go through another day that you don't enjoy. You're not enjoying any aspect of your life, or maybe 50 or 75% of your life is not bringing you joy, isn't meaningful. You have circumstances you don't like, and they don't seem to be changing, and you just rather go hide under the covers. So I understand. I've been there and I've done that. I spent probably better part of a decade hitting that snooze button 3, 4, 5 times because my marriage was failing. Um, I wasn't doing my life's work. I wasn't writing the books that I feel I'm here to write. Um, I was trying to make a business work that I never intended to have. And I was working 24/7 and not making any money. I didn't have any close friends. My health was failing. I think I said my marriage was failing. Uh, I wasn't doing any of the things that brought me joy. Everything felt hard and unpleasant and like a should or a must or an expectation. And yeah, I was pretty miserable. And I didn't want to get up every day. I just didn't. And that's not a way to live your life. That's not why we're here. And so one day I realized that I had created all of that. I knew this for years, but I acknowledged that I had created this mess of my life, and that if I had created a life I didn't like, I could create a life I did. And that's when everything shifted for me because I began to work on creating that life that I loved. And that required that I go inward and I really take responsibility for myself and for my part in, let's say, the failing marriage and in the business and all of that. I had to take responsibility for the fact that I had created all of that. And from that place of responsibility, I could step into my power as a creator. And I knew I was a creator. I just was creating unintentionally things that I didn't want. I was miscreating. And maybe you can relate to this. But when you look at your circumstances, if all you're doing is blaming, which is easy to do in a failing marriage, right? To blame, the same in my business. I would, place blame on people who directed me to start this business or to write the books or whatever, right? And from that place, I had no power. As long as you're blaming, you're a victim. And so I had no power. And so I had to stand in my power as a creator. We are all inherently creators. And the question is, what are we creating? Are we miscreating? Like unintentionally creating stuff we don't want? Or are we intentionally creating what we do want and what's meaningful to us? What's important to us? And see, what was important to me was that I write the books and that I have a good marriage. Well, I didn't have to be married, but if I was going to be married, that the relationship be a good one. It was important to me that I have good health. It was important to me that I was working on projects or a company or whatever that I valued, like that was aligned with my values. And it was important to me that I was being spiritually guided. And at that time, I was not listening to my guidance system. And so um, all that changed. All that changed, and things got better. My marriage got better. My health stabilized. Um, I began working on the books again. Matter of fact, my husband and I moved, and we kind of started fresh. And that's when I began to write again and to move towards publication. And we got a dog, and we began hiking, and we started doing a lot of the things I loved. And the only way that that happened was by me working on myself and stepping into that power as a creator and what I call an inspired creator, because as Wayne Dyer used to say, inspiration is being in spirit. And so to me, when you're inspired, that's when your soul is talking to you. That's when you're receiving spiritual guidance. And when you act on that guidance, you're an inspired creator and you're creating inspired results. You get inspired, you take inspired action, get inspired results, and those are your creations. And to me, it's that quality of life I want to create, right? And that comes from, maybe writing the books because I feel like they will have an impact on people's lives. It's my contribution. And coaching people is a way for me to help, contribute to others, to be of service. These are things that are important to me. It's important to me to be in nature. It's important to me to have good relationships and friendships and all of that, So these are things that are important to me. I love my house. I love where I live. But I could have a life that I love, even if I was living in a very small apartment, right? I could. It's about the quality of life. And to me, I call this an authentic, soul-aligned life, because you want it to be your creation, not something somebody should, says you should do, or you're expected to do, or you're afraid not to do, right? So you want it to come from your authentic self. Soul aligned, because when you're following your spiritual guidance, your intuition, that is your soul talking to you. And so when you take action on that and you create in relationship to that spiritual guidance, you create a soul-aligned life, a life that feeds your soul. And so that has been my path. That has been my path for a number of years now. It continues to be my path. Some of you know that I've had some recent injuries, and that is just another indication to me it was time to level up. And that's exactly what I've done. Anyway, I'm talking to you here on this weekend because I want you to think about the aspects of your life that you're not enjoying, that you complain about, that you blame others for, that you hate. And to consider, what would it be like if you could wave a magic wand and change all that? Now, I'm not saying that I have some solution that, it's going to poof, all of that's gone. But I can tell you that I do know some things about how to step into being the creator of the life you want, and how to really embody that inherent quality of being a creator, and to begin to make changes in your life, to begin to transform yourself and therefore your life, because it's about changing from the inside out. And so if there are some things that really matter to you that are not part of your life right now, if there are things that are meaningful to you, valuable to you, that really matter to you, that you would like to create, and that would change the quality of your life so that you love it, so that you enjoy it, and you want to get out of bed every day, that when the alarm goes off, you're ready to jump out of bed and meet the day and to do all the things you love and that are meaningful to you and inspiring and fulfilling and bring you joy, then I'd like to invite you to my 3-day masterclass. It's totally free. It's called Create What Really Matters to You. And I'm going to be talking about these kind of things and giving you a chance to discover how to finally change your circumstances so that you can create that authentic, soul-aligned life that you love and that you deserve. It's time, isn't it, to change your life in the way you want to change it and to be happy. I just want to be happy. So let's go on this journey together. It is my journey, and I'm really looking forward to these 3 days. They will, I'll be sharing content, but it also will be interactive. There'll be time for Q&A. And I'm really excited to share with you what I've been learning, and to help you see the way to live a life you really love. So if that's of interest to you, which I hope it is, click on the link below and join me in my 3D masterclass. I'll see you there.